That meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Renata knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Go for a new one.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis Stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Renato went ostrich hunting. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
What am I missing now? Because we need 15 and 100. Okay, so we need ore. Lots of it.
Renato distrusted doors that opened automatically, especially after being buried for millennia. Was this some sort of trap?
Probably.
I think this is yours, said Renato. The Ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. And he hadn't come too late.
One point. Uno point. Inflicted damage on hooked enemies. Okay.
Well, he'd always wanted to do that. I pick you!
Is it a grunt?
There was a cat in this one. And something useful.
Find the stone! You have been chosen in this critical mission for your ability to follow orders to the letter without question. Do not believe the naysayers. Your score in the intelligence test is only proof that you're better geared than anyone else to follow orders. Take pride in knowing that I, your Emperor, have handpicked you for this mission. Follow the instructions to the letter. Always travel in pairs. Do not look at the engravings in the wall. Do not lose the hermetic box. When you find the stone, immediately place it in the box and seal the box. If you hear a voice in your head, ignore it. Remember, the temple is haunted, obviously. An old temple dedicated to an old evil god. There were blood sacrifices, of course it would be haunted. Ignore the voice in your head. Remember, ghosts cannot hurt you, but they will try to confuse you. When you hear a voice, take the drowsy pill. If you meet another soldier with a stone and it's not in the hermetic box, immediately spray them with drowsy gas. Find the stone, put it in the box, seal the box, and most important of all, find the stone.
Wait, what? How was he outside? Hadn't he taken an elevator into the depths of the earth?
Okay, so is this the... Get over here.
It was all coming back to him. He wondered what he'd remember next.
It is wrong then. Oh, come on. I did only hit once.
Next time, stay away from the other guy's sword, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no sense collecting more materials. It was time to make something pointy.
You gotta... Oh yeah, that was just on a new level. Still haven't got any else. Time for a new sword.
How could a temple to Iblis still even exist? The Transcendent Emperor had destroyed all the shrines of the lost gods after exiling them. Had it been buried in that long-ago battle? Or had Iblis foreseen his fate and hidden it from his enemy?
One skill point, okay. Get that one. Okay, we have two choices.
The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted.
Okay, but the frustrating when there's so many different paths you can. Oh shit. Yep. We found a new gem. Can we go? Oh shit, why?
Not of a breeze. Through his armor. Oh dear, that wasn't good.
Not what I wanted to do.
At least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
We need a lot of XP for next level.
platforms were great. Renato wanted one for his house. It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up.
Oh yeah.
Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Renato wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Skyripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the Transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. "It's the core," said the stone anxiously.
Let's go with the power.
Why was he listening to a talking rock? Ah, but the rock had a point. If the stone could truly turn him into a powerful warrior, he could defeat the Emperor with the very weapon the wicked old toad had sought for himself. To be a hero, you had to sacrifice old friends sometimes, especially when they've become enemies. As he placed the impossibly black crystal in his gauntlet, Renato had a sudden vision. Charred fields covered in dead ravens below a black sun. Was it the time of the lost gods before the Transcendent Emperor? Was it the future? Feed these souls, it whispered. Take the power. He could feel the stone's hunger for souls, its thirst for blood.
All right, I get it.
This was going to be interesting.
Come on.
No one could beat Renato at hot potato. Oh, you shouldn't have.
Take a while before we get a skill point.
anti-gravity for me.
The ravens on Zenobia's island were no match for Reynardo. They screamed as the stones sucked out their souls. And with each death, he felt stronger. Take the power, the stone told him.
How much are we missing now? A lot for that one, but I was thinking about this one. Because we need one more. So much ore, it's nuts.
Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough. What else could you hook?
Oh, no. Gotta get that one ore.
He couldn't do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he?
Oh, we're here again. I recognize this place. This is new.
Sleep tight, thought Reynardo.
Boop. Nope. Oh.
This chest was filled with reprints of the entire Sandman series. Reprints? What was the point of collecting those? Ooh, and there was something else. Zenobia was waiting for Reynardo. She was alone, confident as always. Fire danced at the tips of her claws. Are you here to surrender? She seemed as cocksure as he felt. But she didn't know he had the stone. And I've missed you too, love. He chuckled. She spotted the stone and bolted without another word.
Don't worry, my love.
You couldn't go sticking jewels in your gauntlet just anywhere. What if you dropped one and broke it? Luckily, there was a bench right here. Ooh, what's there?
Dear Zenobia, as you read this letter, you're locked in your chambers, ready to spend your last night before. But you know, will not apologize. I know you're too proud to forgive me. I also know you won't resist reading through. You are a cat. As much as I have tried to educate you like a proper toad, I swear to you, and you have to believe me, that I did not plan all this when I adopted you. You have always been my special little kitten. That is why I'm writing this now, weeks in advance. I know I will not have the heart to do it the night of sacrifice. If I think of you as my daughter, then I may change my mind. You must think I'm selfish, and yes, I am a selfish, sad little toad that is afraid to die. But what I'm doing will ultimately serve the greater good. I want the power. I want it all, and so I will keep my subjects content. Peace for eternity. Even if you hate me now, you can still respect that. You have to. It is the only way I can forgive myself for doing this to you. I'll miss you for eternity. Tomorrow, try not to make a scene. Everyone will be watching. Still with love, Father. Heck? Gonna marry
This one looked
her.
familiar. Had he lost this one in a card game? Welcome back, he thought.
Oh, come on. There we go. And slay them all.
Finally, Renato caught up to her. He had never seen her scared before. At school, she'd been the determined, brave one. Now her eyes were wide, frightened. He didn't like seeing her this way. Kill her, whispered the stone. You cannot win your rebellion without it. Please. No, said Zenobia. Not that way. Oh, they had been so close once. Could he really feed her soul to his demonic gem? But if he spared her, he would not get the full power of the stone. Oh, how could he be the hero he wanted to be?
Feed her to the stone. Hey, she killed us in the other part, so we are.
With a flick of his wrist, he slashed Zenobia's throat. Her eyes widened even more. And then the light went out of them. Renato felt amazing. Power was rushing into him like water from a burst dam. Oh, such brilliance, exulted the Iblis stone. Tasty. He felt a bit bad about killing her. He was pretty sure she still loved him. But needs must when the devil drives. Renato returned to the Farfarer and set a course for the Nexus. The Empire had a communication outpost there. He could call the Emperor directly. It was time to seize the outpost and let the Emperor know what he had done.
For the Emperor to die.
The Nexus was beautiful. He never realized how beautiful. Everything glowed. The wind was so sweet. The sun so soft. The stones so warm. Black raven feathers. Black feathers. Suddenly, his eyes are filled with them. He's falling through smoke under a dead sun. A voice calls him home. Is this a vision? Whose? Is this the time of the lost gods? Or the future? No matter. What mattered now was killing his way to the Imperial outpost and challenging the Emperor from there. Ooh, sparkly, thought Reynardo.
Sparkly is he? Let's see.
That would come in handy in a pinch.
Right.
Look, it's not personal, but you all smell terrible. Magical jewel. Bernardo couldn't wait to find a workbench.
You already had that one.
Up ahead was Lapino. What was he doing here? Bernardo! Hey, buddy! Hey there, old buddy! Please don't kill me! Why would I kill you? Asked Bernardo, although he had been thinking about it. Well, you've become... look, I mean, no disrespect at all here. Kind of evil? Maybe you should, I don't know, go to the mountains to have a think? See if maybe you're sure the stone is not all that healthy a thing to keep? I suppose you wanted, Reynardo said, and poked Lapino in the chest for emphasis. Oh, had he just killed Lapino? Damn it.
Okay. Sorry, buddy. I am.
This was much easier than free climbing.
Yes. Slightly. Okay, so we need 100. Need 100. 100. We need 160 ore. And one winged essence. Okay.
He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
Oh, come on, dude.
Renato rampaged through the Imperial outpost like a water buffalo rampaging. At the last moment, he remembered not to kill the Far Speaker Toad. After all, he wanted a word with the Emperor. But there was only silence. The Emperor was scared, like little girl. Well, he would gather the rebel army and slaughter the Imperial fleet. Applauded the Iblistone. Tremendous. Then the Emperor would have to answer his Far Speaker, wouldn't he? Who are you? Asked a distant voice that sounded uncomfortably like Zenobia. What have you become? The mountains. Go to the mountains, urged another that sounded a bit like Lapino.
Listen to the distant voices. Renault's become amazing water all thanks to okay. Time to fight. Renault's become an amazing water all thanks to the Stone, but then there was these distant voices. Voices or no voices. He had a job to do. Huh. I don't like being a bad boy now.
What are you doing? Demanded the Iblistone. I need to think, Renato told it. You're not good at thinking, said the Iblistone. You're good at killing. It's what you do. It's your destiny. But he set sail for the mountains, where he could be alone with his thoughts. Why were there Raven Scouts here in the empty mountains? Was there nowhere he could find peace and quiet? There were other ravens here too. Shadowy ones, transparent, lining the path. Ghosts. They cawed as he passed, but they didn't try to stop him. Spectators. Had he really killed that many ravens? He felt like Tarzan.
Oh.
Then he saw her, Zenobia. She was a ghost too. She ran off when she saw him. How could a ghost be afraid? He followed her. He had to. There was an engraving. Maximum capacity, 130 people.
What the?
Renato followed Zenobia's ghost. Had he gone mad, seeing ghosts? Was she running from him or leading him somewhere? He'd come here to be alone, but he'd never been less alone in his life. Every raven he had slain haunted these rocks. Was this who he was? A killer. He was terribly good at killing. He was an adventurer. Or was that just another word for killer? Whispered the stone.
Shit, what? Choice made.
Couldn't they have put in an elevator? Or a giant eagle? Or something? There was blood on this one, so it hadn't saved its owner.
Oh wait. No, but probably should get stamina next. Can pew pew around a little bit more.
There had to be something useful in these things, didn't there?
I think so.
He hadn't noticed that path before.
Dear Zenobia, do you remember that expedition I have sent to the depths beneath the islands? They have returned. Well, 3 ships have returned. Out of 8 I sent. Of course I mourn the losses, but the knowledge the survivors brought back is invaluable. What I have experienced is incredible. The air gradually grows denser and more turbulent until it becomes a suffocating, bone-crushing thunderstorm by the islands. The islands keep stretching for miles below the surface, and they have roots that radiate downward far beyond sight. The islands are alive. This is the proof I was looking for. The thick air of the depths keeps them afloat, and in the depths they find their substance. Do they have a conscience? Are they aware of our existence, or are they merely parasites that they ignore or tolerate? I must prepare another expedition. This time I will go myself. I need to see this wondrous world of the endless deep sky. I hope you will visit me before I leave. I would like to hear more about the new friend of yours, Reynardo. With love, Father. Unfortunately, I killed her.
Open, says me. Raven can't fly, thought Renato.
That was neat. Yeah.
Tried to focus on the job he had to do. The rebellion. Is there a battle coming soon? Will there be ravens to kill? Even an emperor? Such killing. Much wow. Ooh, he'd never been so excited. Once you try it, you're hooked.
Okay, game, what the heck? Destroy, thank you. How much XP do we need? We almost have another XP point.
At the end of the mountain path, Zenobia awaited him. He could see right through her. Why did you kill me? She said. I was your prisoner. And I loved you. I needed the power, he said. Haven't you heard? There's a war on. Then what's your excuse for killing me? Asked his old friend Lapino, stepping out of the shadows. Bernardo didn't have an answer for that. The demon has twisted you, said Zenobia. Abandon the stone. You've lost too much already. Her words bit deeper than any sword ever had. So he shook his head, and once again swung his blade through her and Lapino. It had to all mean something. If he gave up the stone now, he would have sacrificed Zenobia and Lapino for nothing. So, Renato set course for the Imperial fleet, where he would end it all. The Emperor, the war, the madness.
I like taking these bad options, man.
Renato boarded an Imperial ship. No one could stop him slashing his way towards the Emperor. Yes, that was right. To give up now would be to lose everything for nothing. But if he could liberate the land from the Mad Emperor, then he could give up the stone in peace. And those were absolutely his own thoughts, not the stone manipulating him, right? Oh, yes, exulted the stone. Feel your power. We'll make history today. He could hear a tiny voice within him. Don't kill the Emperor. The stone will eat your soul. Was it madness? I have to kill the Emperor, he told himself. That's what it meant to be a hero. To do what had to be done, no matter how terrible the cost. Yes. And then you can have peace. Promised the stone.
Okay, so red. Ooh.
He knew the known knowns, and even some of the known unknowns. But he didn't know the unknown unknowns. You dig?
Why didn't I take the door? Good question.
Newly remembered knowledge. He needed to focus.
Give me the door.
He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he?
What the?
Ah, the road less traveled, thought Renato. How intriguing.
New one, huh? Fight, protect, succeed. Never forget you are fighting for. The Empire brings peace, prosperity, and stability to the island. For my grandfather brought unity, it was each animal for himself. The strong would eat the weak, that was the only law. The rebels would destroy our great empire. They spread lies about justice and equality and pretend that power can be shared. But justice and equality can only be achieved through an iron hand. To harshly punish crime until there is no more crime. To control everyone's wealth until there is no more greed. Crush every voice of dissent until there is harmony. These principles are the pillars that I have set for our empire. The alternative is to return to barbarity. You must fight for your empire. You must protect its values. You are the first and last line of defense against darkness. You cannot fail. Fight, protect, succeed.
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway. A gem of power. Ooh, he didn't find those every day.
Mm-hmm.
That is how we do it, said Bernardo to himself.
Doo-doo.
It was good to practice your moves, thought Bernardo. Keeps you limber. The tiny voice, whatever it was silent. He couldn't see ghosts around him, but he could feel them. If he gave up now, they would be angry. They would have all died for nothing. Who could give up this kind of power? Could anyone? Well, he was just a fox with a talent for swordplay. How had this burden come to him? The Emperor offered the sword. Then peace. Yes, peace. That is what he wanted now.
Mm-hmm. Sure, we will have peace, huh?
A very clever engineer named Elon Muskrat got his start making floating platforms. Not many people knew that.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Again. This time, he'd make an end of him. He'd screwed up last time, but he had a good feeling about this time.
Mm-hmm.
The Emperor was cowering in front of his ship.
No, please don't kill me.
Croaked Emperor Isengrim III.
Here, take the crown. I don't want it anymore.
You must kill him, or he will have his troops. He will send assassins.
Please, have mercy. The rebellion is won. Or you could be emperor. I'll just go be a scientist or minstrel or sell gummy bears. Yeah, I promise not to bother you.
It's the moment. With all the love he'd ever had for Zenobia, for Lupino, for the kit foxes he would never have, Renato raised his sword. And Renato plunged his sword into his own chest. Wait. What? Renato screamed as his life force ebbed into the stone and surged back into him, and ebbed out and surged back in. Screamed the stone. It began to heat up. What have you done? The stone began to glow. It became white hot. It became lava. Nice knowing you, said Renato, as the lava ran like butter. And he died. And just like that, he was alive again, and back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future, when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
Oh my god. Dying every time now through the whole story. 3 times now. That's the choices with that time and died in the end.